What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing well today, and welcome to the Sandlot. Now, this is going to be more sneak peek early access than anything for you guys, because the Sandlot is a track that is currently purchasable on MX Bike Shop. However, the password releases for it in about a day and 6, maybe a day 7 hours from the point this video goes live. This track is going to be round 1 of a brand new series. Typical Canadian has made all the tracks for it. It is called the ARL All-Star Nationals. If you go onto MyMXB and you scroll down, depending on your time zone, it will either be on Monday or on Tuesday. For me, it's early hours Tuesday morning. These come in Mondays and Tuesdays. And it's got a whole bunch of different classes. You've got 250A, 250B, you've got a open Pro-Am class as well. So it's a raceable by all various skill levels. And I thought this track would just be a case of, it's your one nationals track. This is the track you race on for like the season opener, and that'd be it. I couldn't be further from the truth. I think there's 5 tracks on here in total. First of all, which I've noticed flying around, which I had no idea about. I guess maybe naming's changed or it's for copyright reasons, but this main track that we're going to be racing on is Florida Tracks and Trails. Now, I really, really enjoy FTT as just a track. I remember playing the game back in the day when I think it was TFC's Florida Tracks and Trails was a track that was played very, very often. It might not be TFC's, but there's an old FTT track on the game that's really, really fun. We've also had the 126 Proving Grounds recently, which also has the FTT layout as well. So I'm quite excited for this. I believe this is the main track we would be racing for the series, and it has a top layer of sand. However, once it erodes underneath, it's soft soil. So the track actually gets grippier the more it gets ridden on, which I don't mind the sound of at all. That should be quite cool. So outside of this, we'll call it the pro track. We then also have an amateur track over here, which is also raceable. So just a little bit of an easier track for you guys. And then somewhere in amongst all this, because there's a track over there, there's a track over there, there's a track all over there, there's an ATV track, there's also a beginner track, and there's also a pit bike track. So there's lots of exploring to be done. I don't know how final and polished all this is. I was sent this track a couple of days ago, but I've only just got around to now being able to record and upload it for you guys. But we're probably going to focus our time over this way today on the 2 main tracks here. And then I'll leave it up to you guys to have free reign and then really go and discover what else there is. This looks like the pit bike track here, which looks really, really fun. I love more technical pit bike tracks in the game. I think they're awesome. So without further ado, let me try and do this track as much justice as I think it deserves, because appearance-wise, I think it looks incredible. I will say bits like this look a little bit on the narrow side, so racing might be a bit tight, but I'm not actually sure what the real-life track's like these days. It's been so long since I've seen any FTT footage. So yeah, let's go spin some laps.
For all of you passionate gamers, you can now get 20% off all G Fuel products worldwide by using code LINS at checkout. And for any of you motorheads looking for some new drip or apparel, use code MXPR_LINS15 fxrracing.eu to get 15% off. All links and codes are in the description down below. Enjoy the video and drop a cheeky little like and subscribe.
Okay, so we have here what I believe is a 40-man start gate. And having a look at the start straight, it is not perfectly smooth. So gate selection will be very, very important. You don't want to hit one bump and then it completely mess up your drive through the straight. This is the beginner track that we're on right now, just noticing that. This is the one that we have loaded up. Maybe this is the one that we're raced on, because this has got the map on the right-hand side. But either way, I'm going to do laps of both tracks regardless, and we'll find out a little bit. Haven't got all of the information in the line for you today, but this is just to showcase essentially what you'll be getting with this track's. I was going to say purchase, but it is free. It's done under the pay what you can system, where it's free if you can't afford anything, or if you want to tip TC a little bit of money, then you can pay whatever you want to. If you've got a couple of loose cents or loose pennies in your shop wallet, then by all means you can send them his way, and I'm sure he'll be very, very much appreciative of that. In terms of the ARL National Series as a whole, in case anyone's getting a bit like, oh, why have you got the track? Sorry, that's going to be very, very unfair for competition. There is a 99% chance I don't actually get to race these, just because of the time that they're at. And even if I do race them, I wouldn't be able to do every single one to be in with a chance of probably winning the series, or I don't know what prizes are like. I believe there's money up for grabs, but you'll have to go and have a look at all that. I mean, if you go on MyMXP and you go to Monday or Tuesday, again depends on your time zone, and you find the sign up for this race, then it has a link to the Discord channel all on that page anyway. So you can go and have a look at the Discord, see all the rules, see when it is, see what tracks are involved, see what prizes are involved, etc. And highly recommend you do so. So this track right here, which I think is the amateur track, it's just the one that is loaded up by default for me. Feels very, very straightforward, very fast, and does definitely, I guess, live up to its name. Does feel like an amateur track vibe. I'm riding the KTM today simply because I'm in my usual pre-season crisis of switching back and forth between bikes. I've got the gas in the locker for if the KTM doesn't work out for me. But if you wasn't a part of yesterday's live stream that I done when I was doing more outdoors prep, the amount of times that I mentioned how quick the KTM is when they'd out-drag me on straight, specifically the start straight as well, started to sound like a bit of a broken record. So I want to see, if I can't beat them, why not join them? Now, I have never been a big KTM enjoyer, is my issue. There's something about the way the bike suspension is, how it handles, that just doesn't vibe well with me too much, but it's no question that it is the fastest bike out of the lot in 450s. So I want to see if there's a way that I can try taming it, try and make the suspension work a bit better for me. And if that is the case, then I might even try this for the outdoors season. I did have some bad news though. Bad news. Well, depends what you ask, bad news. I was under the impression that I was going to be able to do all 11 rounds of this upcoming 2024 AMA season. However, one of them rounds falls on, well, they're all on Fridays, but it falls on the same weekend as the Vets MX of Nations at Fox Hills that's taking place this year, which is an event that myself and Raspa, Mr. Charlie, have already bought tickets for. So I'm going to have to see how that works, because for the real life event, it takes place between, I think the gates open on Thursday to let everybody in, and then I don't think much is going on the Friday, to be fair. It's probably just a chill day, but I think bikes get scrutineered, all that good stuff, so you can go and look at people's bikes if you want. But then Saturday and Sunday is when it all begins. My issue is, if I am committed to that series, which is obviously they're all on Fridays, and it's Friday night, I would somehow then have to, as soon as we're done, take the trip to Fox Hills to then be there ready in time for Saturday. And I am guessing that Charlie would want to be there from first thing on the Thursday anyway. So there's a very high chance I don't, again, get to do all of the rounds of this series, which kind of sucks, but it's not something that you can foresee. You never know the exact calendar of these series before they begin, and I'm still of the opinion that real world should be more important than in-game, and maybe, just maybe, if I do well enough throughout the season, I could still be in with a chance of like a top 3 maybe overall, just like I've done in this Supercross season. So for Supercross, all the prizes have now been announced. It's a bunch of like FXR goodies and stuff, which is quite ironic being sponsored by FXR already anyway. But then there's like you get like a 3D printed trophy and all this good stuff as well. And that was for the top 3 riders, and luckily I did scrape by 3 single points over Hakon to get that 3rd place. So big W, especially after missing 3 rounds. I'm very, very happy with myself there. Getting that Dubski in the last race of the year proved to be very, very beneficial. So W's all around. Just like this track, 100%. If you are a beginner and you're looking for something to maybe test you a little bit more than your standard tracks like Forest or Club, Washington, whatever it may be, then I would definitely recommend giving this a go. It seems very suitable for all 250s and 450s. I'd say the 450 might even be a little bit overkill. However, I know that the predominant classes for this series that it's going to be are 250 classes. I should probably not keep scrubbing that jump. But yeah, no, ruts are good. There's a good amount of rough without it being overbearing at all, so newbies will be quite happy with that. In terms of line selection, it does seem to be quite inside dominant at the moment, just what I'm noticing. Or at least the insides are built big enough to where you haven't really got to worry about taking other lines. But I have no idea what these tracks will erode like. So you could find it's one of them tracks where when you get to the halfway point of a race, some lines might get a little bit too narrow, a little bit too front tucky, and then you have to mix things up and kind of venture for some more faster, smoother lines. So I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued to see how these tracks play. I do want to see if I can try and step down all the way to that table in this next section. So if I go up to third, well, down to 3rd gear, no, I think the sand traction might play a limiting factor there. I don't think you're going to quite get enough oomph to get up and over that table. It doesn't matter. That's just one of them weird and wonderful lines that you don't really need to pay attention to. But no, so far, this track's been pretty damn decent. What I'm most excited about is working my way over there to the old tracks and trails. I'm very, very excited to go and do that. Here we go. We're over to the main big boy, the main squeeze. Let's see how this one goes. If you've never had the luxury of playing the old FTT track in this game, go give it a go. It is one of the most wide open tracks you will ever set your controller up on. It's I remember having some really, really good fun races back in the day. Because prior to, what was it, 2022 was when we had the first like replica outdoors set of tracks. So like 2021 and previously, there was no like week-to-week replica tracks like we get these days. So we'd have to play on like fairly old tracks that were part of the game, and FTT was one of them ones that came up fairly regularly. And let me tell you, when you get a lobby of 30 fast riders, which were, I guess were the equivalent of pros back then in the day, for like a 30-minute race, holding that right trigger down as hard as physically possible, it was a fun time. It was frustrating because you'd make just this tiniest little mistake and it would be so costly time-wise because you just couldn't get that time back. But I do miss those days. I really, really do. When the competition was much easier than it is now. The game's definitely gone up a level in the last couple of years or so, I'd say. And, oh, this is a little bit... Oh, this is a bit different. Okay. So the layout of it has changed from modern times, from what I've got ingrained in my head. Step up and over this, go through these rollers, go up on the pegs, because I see some rough stuff. What we're looking like in here, a little triple. Oh, a bit of, almost like a bit supercrossy. Triple, scrub that bad boy. What's this? Just another send into some rollers as well. Yes. And then you also have to remember as well is the longer a race goes on these tracks, hopefully the faster it might get, because how the road works, and once the top layer of soil's disappeared, it is just going to get grippier and grippier. But I think in itself, where the track is, I guess, technically changing, and some parts of the track will be slipperier than others, depending on what stage of the race you're in or what lines you take compared to other people, I do think it adds another layer of maybe race IQ might be the right word, is knowing where you can and can't push the bike just yet. I don't know. I'd be interested to know your guys' thoughts, if you prefer a track to stay the same the entire time, or if you like almost having like a dynamic system to where the traction changes as you go on. I mean, I suppose it could work in a similar way if, let's say you want to replicate a track getting like super hard packed and shiny the more people ride on it. So let's take a hard pack, let's take like an Arlington or maybe like a Denver Supercross, let's say, where they've been super hard packed in the past. Wouldn't it be cool if you had like a layer of soft soil at the very beginning of the race so it was more grippy, and then underneath that you had a layer of regular soil which is usually more slippery. So then as the race progresses, the track gets slipperier and slipperier, simulating that hard pack effect coming in, but having like minimal erode on it, so you didn't get super deep ruts at the same time. I feel like that could be cool. I think a lot of people would probably absolutely despise that idea and say like, Linz, what are you talking about? Please stop giving them ideas, please shut up. But I like it. I think that could be interesting. That was my bad. I was trying to turn too sharp on a little bump while turning there. But bike-wise, the KTM's not been feeling terrible for me recently. I will say that the tracks they're not quite the level of roughness that like the GP tracks are. So I'm not coming into some of these corners and my front and back end are skipping around all over the place. So the bike has a lot more time to, I guess, get planted. Oh, what? Oh, the brain. My brain's ticking. The brain's ticking, boys. I wonder if you can jump that roller and land up and over the next jump. Hang on a second. Hang on. I'm sorry if I break your track, DC. I don't mean to. So we're going to check up here. Oh, I should probably come out even wider than that. And then take off here. I reckon you can. I reckon you can do that. Whether it's faster or not, I've got no idea, because then I guess you're singling into the corner. But yeah, it's worth experimenting with lines like that sometimes. I think that'd be quite cool. Yeet, big triple. Round to the right, should have some couple of rollers, and then it goes back to the left, which it does. Lovely. Try and get slotted into one. Oh, front end. Slotted into one of these ruts. Let's try an inside. Been doing lots of outsides at the moment. Oh, that inside kind of disappears on you, but I suppose the reason for it is to then make both lines quite viable to each other. So if you rail the outside, you get more of a slingshot through the straight, but it's a longer distance. If you go inside, you cut a lot of the corner off, but then your speed along the next straight isn't quite as good because the rut fades away towards the end of it. Step down, little double, and try and get up on top of these ruts, turn around to the left. So you see, there's definitely more rough on this one than the other track, which leads me to believe that this is the race, or this is the track that will actually be raced on. But hopefully, I can give you guys enough, I guess, visual learning, if that makes sense, to know where you want to go in the races. I'm trying to mix up lines as much as I can. And then I don't know if this is the finish jump around here. It makes sense for it to be. It's bloody huge, absolutely massive. Oh no, never mind. This is the finish jump. Literally, the next jump has a massive finish barrier on it. I am an L gamer, so yeah, yeet over that. So there you go. There's the two tracks, or the main two tracks. So there's also a pit bike track, which is here, which I'll just spin a lap of for you. Looks like it's got some split sections in it, which are quite interesting and cool. Still sand traction as well, so I don't think I've ever ridden a pit bike on sand traction before. It'll be interesting to see how they work and how they ride. I'm guessing that's where the start straight joins back onto the track. Right now, it feels like the scaling of the track is made more for the faster pit bikes, so the ones that have the two-strokes engine in. Yeah, definitely. The bikes have the two-stroke engines in them rather than the ones with the four-stroke engines. So the two-stroke ones are absolute animals. They are beasts of a bike. They're very, very fun. Also very difficult to try and control. But on the back. Well, check out. I was about to send that. Then just realised that there's a tiny little jump there. And to the left, it's berms. And then over to the right, this is where our split section is. Oh, that makes sense. It makes sense that there's a little wall at the end if you're going inside to check you up at the end. And then inside roller here. Back across. I'm very intrigued to know where the start is for this track, to see how it joins onto the track there. I'll probably pass it at some point. And then can we send this onto the second one? Oh, not quite. On the binders, round to the left. This is a big yeet. That is huge. I reckon some of the pit bikes might struggle to get up and over that. Definitely have to rail the outside. Oh, so that's the start straight there to my right. And then it does a lap around that. Okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot more sense how it comes together. Then off in the distance over here, we have another track. Again, the naming of each of these, I apologise. I do not know 100%. But I do know that I'm going the wrong way. So let's rejoin the track in the correct direction. We'll go around. I think this is meant to be quite basic. And obviously this is, I think, a slightly earlier build. I think stuff has changed slightly between this and what you will be getting as well. So just bear that in mind. There might be some minor changes. I've had this. I've had the link for this for like 3 days now, and I've only just hopped on to give her a cheeky go. I thought it made sense to wait until we was closer to the time of the actual race to show it off to everybody. And it is annoying that I don't think I'll be able to make many of the races for this, but you know, time exists, unfortunately. And now where I sleep with somebody rather than sleeping by myself, I can't really just come and go as much as I please in bed. I need to. Oh, that sounds hella sus, actually, doesn't it? I should probably sleep at the same time she does, so I don't get woken up at silly o'clock in the morning by her work alarm, and then I'll be really tired throughout the day because I've had like 4 hours sleep in total. So it's something that I wish I could do, but yeah, probably not. But I think it's for the best. It wouldn't be fair of me to be sitting here grinding tracks out for a series that other people cannot do. So that's how it should be. And then after this track, I think there is another track all the way over here as well. So there's another track here. So again, I could not tell you which one of these tracks is the beginner track or which one is an ATV track. For those of you who are Florida natives, you probably have a whole lot more information about this place than I do. This is something that I don't really see talked about too much anymore. I remember there was a whole bunch of hype originally when it was all first being made, saying that it was like the best track in the world, etc. But yeah, I've not seen too much since then. I see the very, very rare GoPro video, but yeah, other than that, not too much. So this seems very, very wide, which would lead me to believing that maybe it is the ATV track. But you guys can, again, you can let me know. So I think I've showed this off to the best of its ability. I have no idea what I'm going to do title-wise, because I don't know if it's like, should I be promoting the series to racing? Should I just show off the track itself? I got no idea. But there's multiple rounds of this. I want to say there's like 6 or 7 rounds, or at least 5 sin. And yeah, I wish you all the best if you take part in this series. And it's nice that there's just going to be a lot going on. So this is going to be early hours of Tuesday for me. Actually, would this No, it's fine. I was wondering if this would overlap with the MXGP races that are going on at the moment, but it just wouldn't. Maybe if you're from NA, it might. But I think we only have like 2 rounds or so left. But of course, I don't know. Yeah, the issue is with different people, they are available different days for hosting. So if like Monday nights, early hours of Tuesday mornings are the days that the host can do, then that's the days they can do, even if it does kind of overlap with some of the MXGP stuff. But it is what it is. I wish you all the best of luck. I hope you'll qualify and have some very, very fun races together. And if you enjoyed this video, please do drop a cheeky little like and subscribe to the channel if you're new. It's very much appreciated. And have a lovely rest of the day, whatever you're up to. And I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.
I'm sacrificing my life, I'm sacrificing my mind, I'm sacrificing my sanity, but most importantly, I'm sacrificing my time. Boy, I feel fine, I feel like I am a king. Honestly, I can't complain. Even with faith that's the size of a grain of some salt, I will still move a mountain and do what I want.